day or afternoon, depending on what time zone you are in. I'm going to, it looks like we already have our session recorded, so I don't have to push that button. Yay. Again, welcome to to transitioning to an online practice utilizing QuickBooks Online. This presentation today was written by Stacy Kildall, and I will be presenting it. My name is Katie Peterson of Peterson Business Services. I am an Advanced Certified Pro Advisor. I also co-author some of the QuickBooks Online certification. I'm a member of the Intuit Trader Writer Network and now a student teacher at schoolofbookkeeping.com. I'm certified in many third-party apps for streamlining business processes and providing industry-specific solutions. And our specialty is business process and finding those specific solutions to meet our clients' needs. You can find me on Twitter. You see my Twitter handle there on your screen, and also a link to my blog, makeaccountingfun.blogspot.com. Our course today is eligible for 1 CPE credit. To receive your credit, you must stay for the entire webinar. We will provide a CPE keyword during the webinar, about in the middle. So you need to note that keyword down, and then at the end of the webinar, we will put up a poll for you to enter the CPE keyword so that you can get credit for attending today. Your CPE certificate will be emailed to you within 2 weeks, and it will be emailed to you at the address that you used to register for today's webinar. If you have not already downloaded the course materials, here's the link. The link is also posted in the chat window so that you can go and download the PDF supplemental information that goes with today's training. And this link is also included in your confirmation email that you received that had your GoToWebinar links that you used to log in today. All right, now that we've gone over the general housekeeping, let's look at our agenda today. Today we're going to talk about the cloud and what the cloud is. We're going to look at why it's important to transition to the cloud. We're going to learn how to take some technology and software issues into consideration. We'll also look at the benefits of using QuickBooks Online. Then we'll start talking about how to transition your existing clients to QuickBooks Online, as well as connecting with new clients that could be good for the online product. Lastly, we'll talk about the benefits of becoming a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor and the resources that are available to you in that program. Our learning objectives for today are to define what the cloud is and understand how it applies to us as accounting professionals. We also want to be able to summarize why you would want to transition to the cloud and the benefits that it will provide both you and your clients. We will learn to identify hardware and software needed to make a smooth transition. We're also going to figure out how to create a list of existing clients and how to decide which ones to transition first. We'll identify ways to reach out to new clients and, again, summarize the benefits of becoming a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. All right, so let's jump right in and talk about the cloud. What is the cloud? The cloud is basically the Internet. So since you all found your way here today to this webinar, you are obviously capable of using the Internet, so that's one step in the right direction. But let's talk about it. So the cloud is the Internet. You could call it the Internet, the web, cyberspace, the information superhighway, whatever you want. It's all the same. It's the Internet. And that cloud basically rains information down to your computers, whether you have a PC, a laptop, a tablet, a cell phone, remote servers, databases. The Internet is a global system of interconnected computer networks. Millions of networks, private networks, public networks, academic, business, government, all of those networks are connected through the Internet. Wikipedia calls the cloud a network of networks. If you look at the many ways that we can connect and interact with the cloud, you can see we can all basically choose whichever way we prefer. You can choose your smartphone, your laptop, your tablet. We've got all these different ways to basically connect with the cloud and all of that information. Okay, more on the cloud. We've got, where does this information live? Where does the information on the Internet live? It's stored securely in data centers. So there's software and data that's all stored on servers in giant warehouses all over the world. So this information, instead of being stored on your computer, which is probably sitting in front of you, it's living somewhere else, and then you're accessing that data through the cloud. QuickBooks Online lives in the cloud, so the software is stored on Intuit's secure servers. It has bank-level encryption, so if you use online banking, you're basically logging into the bank servers and accessing that information. QuickBooks Online is similar. You're logging into Intuit servers and accessing your financial information. Everything is encrypted, password protected, and backed up. Like I was saying, that there's many data centers all over the world. If one data center goes down in one state, then the data center in another state takes over. Software and data is accessible via the internet from multiple devices. So whether you use a PC, a Mac, a tablet, if you're using your phone, you're able to access that same information via the internet without having to deal with your software being compatible with your hardware. The collaboration that's available through mobile data access and file sharing is the key to an efficient workflow. This is really important to us as accounting professionals because it gives us the ability to work with our clients as advisors and professionals. Not only are we able to work with our clients more efficiently, we're also able to work with other people in our industry. So if you are a tax preparer working with a bookkeeper, or a bookkeeper working with a tax preparer, or an accountant working with a financial advisor, you're able to open up this information to the pertinent parties, and you're able to work more efficiently and be more productive, which in turn means you're able to make more money. Because as much as we love what we do, we're really all just in this to make more money, right? Help our clients, get paid, go home, and go to the beach. So now we're not wasting time upgrading software. We're not dealing with backing up data, backing up files, saving files to flash drives, hard drives crashing. We don't have to deal with restoring data files. We don't have to troubleshoot data corruption, right? If somebody gets their file that's too fragmented on your desktop, or they save it to the wrong place, or they accidentally overwrite a file, we don't have to deal with that. We also don't have to deal with zipping files or trying to send large data files. I'm sure most people using desktop maybe have had the problem where they're trying to send their client a backup file, or their client is trying to send them a file, and it just won't push through the email server. So that's a problem that we don't have by utilizing these cloud resources. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the evolution of accounting software. The accounting industry is making the move toward the cloud as well. You can see here we've got kind of 3 different ways that we access accounting software. We've got desktop, hosted, and software as a service, also lovingly known as SaaS, and those are those cloud products. So desktop software, you would go to the store, buy the software, and load it on your computer. You'd set up the proper configuration, add your licensing, get connected to the network, and get everybody all set up on it. The install releases, excuse me, they release updates periodically as the bug fixes are available. So someone finds a problem, the software developer fixes it, then you have to update your software on your computer. You have to make sure that you update everyone in the office as well as the server all at the same time so that everyone's on the same release, and then back up and restore the data to share it with the clients. So this requires you to keep good notes on which year and version of the software your clients are on. So as an accounting firm, you might have clients using different versions in different years. You have to keep the previous year versions installed and updated at your office so that you can open clients' data files that may be using older systems without accidentally updating it to the next version, because you can't go back, right? Okay, so that's the long story of desktop software. Now our hosted environment is a cloud-based option that's kind of a combination of desktop and online solutions. So when you hear people talk about hosted desktop or remote desktop, this means that they are using their internet browser, which is cloud-based. So they're using their computer not to house their software, but to connect to the internet, and then they log into the hosting provider's website. When they're there, they're logged into a PC desktop that's housed by the hosting company, and then they can open their QuickBooks desktop software. So it's not online like QuickBooks Online, it's remote access to desktop software. It has many cloud benefits for sharing data with clients and accessing from multiple devices. So it allows you to run that desktop software with slightly less maintenance than you would have if you were running it on your own systems. Now, when we get down to the SaaS products, or software as a service, that's something like QuickBooks Online. You don't remote access a PC desktop. You're not logging into a desktop software. You're operating software that's built for the web and built for mobile browsers. It's not built for PCs. You cannot download and install a SaaS product. You're not buying the software. You're subscribing to the software service. So many people nowadays have businesses that are completely SaaS-based. So they only, they only support cloud systems like QuickBooks Online and other third-party apps. They don't install software at all. They can use Google Apps, QuickBooks Online, Method CRM, Bill.com. I mean, there's tons of apps now in the App Store. Google Apps is a game changer for small business. They have the cloud-based infrastructure with a lot of features for low pricing. People are able to manage things like their email, their documents, their calendar, all of those things that you may have previously done with the Microsoft Office suite, you can now do online. And even Microsoft Office now with Office 365. All of these systems that we used to go purchase down the street at the Office Mac store and install on our computers, we now just log into the internet, put in our credit card, pay our monthly subscription, and everything is available wherever we go. So that's pretty awesome. One thing that I personally love about using the web-based products is when I travel, if I take an iPad or an older laptop, that I don't really care about that much, I can still log into everything that I need to use without having to be paranoid that if I drop my computer or if I lose it or whatever happens to it, it's not a big deal because there's nothing on that computer that I'm losing if I were to break it. So that's also very reassuring. Now, just some statistics as far as the accounting industry. The American Institute of CPAs strongly endorses the move from paper to digital. So if you subscribe to any of these, AICPA or Accounting Web or Accounting Today, every publication has something related to the cloud. When digital information is stored in a cloud environment, you have secure access to it when and where you need it. Cloud-based solutions enable you to collaborate better with your clients. So from entering daily payables and receivables transactions for them, or letting their staff do that, and then you're performing month-end reconciliation. Or maybe you only manage sensitive payroll functions that they don't want their staff to handle. There's all of these different ways that you can divide the services between yourself and your client and be 1,000 times more efficient than you would have been previously if you were actually exchanging paper and having to meet every time something needed to be done. For me, the most beneficial thing about converting clients to QuickBooks Online is anytime you do a conversion or a training, you're more than likely that client is going to have some questions sometime after the fact. The nice thing about online is even if they're working on it at 11 o'clock at night, if they hit a problem, they can just email you or leave you a voicemail or whatever way you accept communication at 11 o'clock at night. And then when you get in the morning or the next day, you're able to just log right into their system, see what they're talking about, fix their problem, and move on with the day. There's no more coordinating schedules and having to set an appointment, having to gather other information. You can just have all of that information online, access their books, and fix their problems. So you're way more efficient. You're not spending time driving back and forth, or for me, it's scheduling appointments. So much of my time is burnt up simply by having to manage my schedule of when I'm going to do things and see people. So by being able to handle cloud issues on your own time, you're actually able to save time and be more efficient and more productive in your day. So you can collaborate them with real-time central access to the data from multiple locations and devices. And then obviously when you automate those processes with cloud-based features, you're able to free up valuable resources and turn chaos into efficiency. It's really nice. So I'm just going to take a moment here. I know we have some awesome tech support on the line today. I'm just going to pop open our questions box and see if we have anything coming in. And it doesn't look like we have any unanswered questions, so that is good. Feel free to use your questions window to ask things, ask for clarification if I skip over anything, or whatever you would like answered, just feel free to pop in there. And we have a team on that will respond to you in writing. And then, of course, if I see things pop up there, I will make sure to address them verbally for everyone. All right, our next topic, we're going to look at technology and software considerations to transition to the cloud. Let's start by talking about browsers. Browsers are how we see or access the information that's on the internet. You use the browser to log into Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, online banking, Twitter, eBay, Amazon, YouTube, Yahoo, whatever you're doing, you're using a browser. So I'm sure at least one of the 4 icons there at the bottom of your screen should look familiar to you. We've got Google Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, and Safari. Chrome is my favorite browser. And Chrome is also the preferred browser for QuickBooks Online. So each one of these little portals into the internet is designed a little bit differently, right? They have different bookmark bars, different features, etc. And QuickBooks Online is really optimized for Chrome. So you want to try to use Chrome as much as you can. There are also a lot of really awesome split screening and user functionalities within Chrome that really enable you to be more efficient when you are working heavily in QuickBooks Online. And all of that information can actually be found in the QuickBooks Online Certification Prep Training. But back to browsers. A browser is software on your hard drive. So it lives on your local computer. Browser software comes preloaded on computers when you buy them, and you can also download additional browsers for free if you want another one. So, like for example, when I bought my computer, I believe it came with Internet Explorer. I needed Google Chrome, so I downloaded it. So you can download different browsers that are available depending on the computer that you're using. When you open a browser software on your computer and navigate to a website or location in the cloud, that's how you're accessing the data on other servers that are warehoused elsewhere. So your browser is your window into the internet. And as long as you have the credentials that you need, you can see and access the data and software on the internet. If you go to QuickBooks Online's website and log in, you'll be using a software program that is on Intuit's computer servers. Okay, so let's go over that again. If you turn off your internet access and open your browser on your computer, it wouldn't work, right? It would be blank. You cannot connect to anything unless you're plugged into the internet. You couldn't use QuickBooks Online because it doesn't live on your computer. It lives on Intuit's server. So when you connect to the internet and log into QuickBooks Online, you won't be downloading and installing QuickBooks Online software on your computer. You will be using your browser software to access Intuit's software program. So basically, you have a window, Intuit has a software program, and the internet allows you to look through that window into Intuit's servers and access your information. So you don't have to maintain the QuickBooks software, you don't ever install a release or update, and you don't back up the data. You just log in and get to work. Okay, so from another angle, if you're using QuickBooks Online and your computer crashes, you lose your connection to the data and the software program. You can just go to another computer and log in again. The software and data were not on your computer, so if your computer crashes, it doesn't matter. It lives on Intuit's computer. Basically, your window broke, but your view is still there. You just need to look at it through another window. Okay, so one thing that I want to touch on there, where I just said that you do not have to update, install new releases, or back up the data, one of the common issues I hear from people when they want to convert to the cloud is that they don't have the ability to back up their data. I want to let anyone on the line know that has that issue that the need to back up your data is less relevant in QuickBooks Online because we have a really awesome audit log, and we have a lot of other things in place that kind of prevent you from needing to do that. Like the way that apps sync, many times you'll back up your data before you do an app sync, right? So that if you mess up the app sync, you can go back. Well, the way that apps sync with QuickBooks Online and their open API is much different than what we would have to use before with like the web connector or anything that had to live on our desktop. It's a more active sync, so we get cleaner data in from our third-party apps. There's also a backup system being created right now. They're still working on it. It's called Safety Net by Jobber. I'm back at QuickBooks Connect, which was the conference last October that Intuit had in San Jose. They had a hackathon competition that had 3 winners, and then those winners are working with Intuit to get their pitch developed fully. So Jobber won one of those. They won a $15,000 prize and then 6 months of working with Intuit to develop Safety Net to actually allow people to do QuickBooks Online backups. So if that's your biggest concern, go ahead and Google Safety Net by Jobber, and you can stay up to date on information about that. So what that system would do is allow you to make period copies and backup copies of QuickBooks Online companies. So if that's your big problem for not moving online, just know that there is a solution in progress for that, and you can stay updated on that. Okay, so now that we've discussed browsers, let's talk about existing hardware. Okay, so let's consider what existing hardware you may already have. Most of us nowadays use smartphones. You might have a tablet. You probably have a laptop. Smartphones allow you to connect to your email. They allow you to connect to the internet. And there are many apps for phones and tablets that are geared toward business. On my phone or tablet or iPad, I can edit Excel documents. I can process payroll. I can communicate with clients. You can get a wireless hotspot for your laptop so that you can connect to the internet from virtually anywhere. And even now, many cell phones also double as wireless hotspots. So for me, people say you're either a Mac or a PC. Well, I'm totally a PC. I have a team member that's a Mac, but I also love my iPad and my iPhone. So I have all different kinds of devices, but it doesn't matter. I don't have any compatibility issues because of the way that we run in the cloud. By using QuickBooks Online, using hosted systems, I don't have any issues with people using different devices, whether it's myself, my team, or my clients. We can all basically use whatever we want and still connect to the same information. There are also some apps for phones and tablets, like for QuickBooks Online. There's an iPad app, an iPhone app, and an Android app, as well as the full product that you can connect to through the browser. So one of the great things about the app is that it's so simple to use. You can have clients photographing receipts, writing invoices, running reports, all from their phone, which helps eliminate some of the time that you might need to spend training them on how to do more complex things, because it's harder for them to mess things up if they're just working from their phone. So that more restricted functionality on the app is not necessarily a con, but instead it's a pro, because it's enabling your clients to do the things they need to do with less risk of them accidentally doing something they shouldn't do inside of their accounting system. All right, so we've looked at browsers, hardware. Now let's look at existing applications, so existing software or SaaS products that we might be using. So you might already be using some things that can help you collaborate with clients. Dropbox, SmartVault, ShareFile, Google Drive, those are all applications that make it easy for clients to share documents with you. They save the source documents to these applications on their computer, and then you can access them from almost anywhere. I personally use ShareFile. I also have a lot of things on Google Drive, but it's nice because I have an app on my phone, I have an app on my iPad. You can send file requests and document requests. There's so many of these out there nowadays that you can basically just choose whichever one you think is the prettiest, or whichever one fits your business the best. There's so many options that you're able to really get the one that you want, and these vendors are competing for your business. You may be using Google Voice or an eFax service. You might be using a VoIP system, which I believe stands for Voice over Internet Provider. Google Voice is also a VoIP. It's an online phone service, and it allows you to have one phone number that can reach all of your phones. You can set up rules like all calls before 5 go to your office, and after that they go to your cell. There are a lot of features for all of these different services, and then some of them even have the eFax service that is the same phone number as your VoIP phone line. So you're able to streamline things like your phone service and your fax into one web-based product. You might also already be using something like QuickBooks Online or Bill.com or some other cloud-based accounting systems or accounting supplements. And these allow you real-time, easy access to your client's accounting records from virtually anywhere. Some of these may have apps. Some of them you might just log into from your computer. And then some other things for communication. There's Google Hangouts, Skype, and GoToMeeting, GoToMyPC, GoToWebinar, which we're using today. These are all services that can help you hold your meeting with your clients without being at their office. There's all kinds of things that we can use to really jump into the cloud. And now remember, if you're not already using some of these, don't feel like you need to drastically change all of this at once. Start with one thing. Start with maybe an online file system. Start with the one client on QuickBooks Online. And then maybe transition over to the VoIP. And then once you have all of those efficiencies in place, it'll make more sense to do things like remote meetings with clients, using GoToMeeting to log in remotely, all of those things. So don't be intimidated that there's so many things, and we'll look at how to narrow those down here in a little bit as well. Okay, so now that we've taken browsers into consideration, we've looked at the hardware that you could be using as well as existing SaaS applications. Let's look at the required business functions. So what does your practice have to have in order to run efficiently in a remote environment? You need to have a calendar system so that you can manage your schedule, tasks, and all of that in the cloud. Access to online faxing, which is the e-fax we were just discussing, as well as the document management systems. And then let's not forget about having the right software to allow you to work anywhere, anytime, which is what QuickBooks Online allows you to do. So we want you to compare the things that you must have to be efficient with the hardware and software that you already have to determine where the gaps are. Then you can create a plan to fill in the gaps. So if you're already using devices that are efficient for you, like your smartphone, your tablet that allows you to browse the internet, your laptop, so you have devices, hardware that is portable so that you can work anywhere. Maybe you already have a file share system, or maybe you're already using QuickBooks Online, but your tie down is when you receive a fax, it actually comes out of a machine on a piece of paper. So there would be a gap to set up e-fax. So you can analyze that in your own firm and figure out where your gaps are. Okay, now let's talk about the benefits of QuickBooks Online. So as we've been discussing here all along, and as you can see here, these benefits are no-brainers. You don't have to maintain any software or data, and you don't really have to worry about hardware. As long as you have hardware that you can get a browser on, you're good to go. If your computer crashes, or if you drop it, or if you have 3 little kids in your house like I do and somebody decides to spill their sippy cup all over it and it breaks, not a big deal. Just toss it and get on to another one. It actually lowers the cost of the hardware because you don't have to store anything on it. You can walk into OfficeMax or Best Buy or whatever computer store you prefer to go to and just buy one that will run the internet quickly, and you're good to go. You can complete all of your tasks on there, reconciling, review, analysis, reporting. All of that is doable just with a browser. Okay, so we've got all the collaboration, we've got the time saving, and then we've got other things that, like the wholesale billing, we've got all this pricing. I could go on about this for hours, but it's kind of off topic, so that you can offer flat fee, because at this point you're going to be saving so much time that billing an hourly rate is not even worth it. So at this point you're billing your clients for your knowledge, your software, and your ability to be more efficient. So your time that you're spending each month becomes more predictable. You're able to offer flat rates. You're able to continue to bill your client the same amount that you were billing when you were charging by the hour, but you're not actually spending as much time. So the value is still there for your client. The value is there even more for yourself because you're saving more time, and everybody's winning. Okay, some other benefits of managing clients in the cloud. There's all kinds of different things that are so much better once you switch to the cloud. So you're not wasting time driving. I see this on many forums where people are asking questions like, I have this client, they're 30 miles away, should I charge a travel fee, blah, blah, blah. And I suffered with that earlier in my business too, is it's worth it to drive out and get your clients, but when you're making site visits and you're not there very long, if you're billing hourly and not charging a travel fee, but then how do you justify a travel fee? Well, none of that matters once you're managed in the cloud because you're not really driving anywhere. And when you do, you're not thinking that you're losing value by having to waste time traveling because you save so much time everywhere else in your business that every once in a while when you make a trip, it doesn't matter. You're not dealing with parking tickets for expired meters. You don't have to deal with the employee drama that may be occurring at your clients' offices, so that's nice. You can do troubleshooting remotely. You don't have to go in and just deal with all of the dramas of the office, so it's great. Okay, so let's see, did we cover everything here? We have simplified access, anywhere, anytime. You can go on vacation and not feel guilty because if your client has a true emergency, right, they all think they have emergencies, but if you really do have something that you have to deal with, it's not a big deal to deal with it. So I love that so much, is I can go on vacation, I can go to a conference for a week and not feel like I just completely lost control of my business or of tasks that I was supposed to do because I can have access to them from anywhere. I love it. Okay, so let's go on to our CPE keyword, and I'll leave this up for a minute. Our CPE keyword for the day is butter. And I do have to say that is probably the most beautiful bowl of butter that I have ever seen, so good job for the CPE keyword selection team on finding us a lovely image today. So if you can all take that down, butter, B-U-T-T-E-R, and I am going to check out the questions box while we all take that down. So I see a question, does Intuit perceive any risk with the federal government's push to regulate the internet? I don't work for Intuit, so I don't really know what kind of risks they perceive relating to those regulations. So I guess my answer to that would be I don't know, but I don't see, I don't know. I mean, there's always crazy things that go on, and people talk about regulating the internet and nationwide sales tax and this and that, and it's kind of one of those things where until we really get to that point where things start happening, we don't really know. It's just like universal health care, right? We don't really know until now. We still don't really know all of the tax ramifications and how everything's working. It's just one of those things that we'll have to live by experience. Okay, and another one about the info for QuickBooks Online Backup. So again, that is Safety Net by Jobber, and I think I can type that in here for you guys. Let me let everybody see that here. So send to all. So it's called Safety Net by Jobber is what you can look up, and I just posted that in the chat box, so you can all look that up if you're interested. And then we've got questions about the differences between Android and iOS app for QuickBooks. The function, they might look a little bit different, but I think the functionality is basically the same. And again, just like QuickBooks Online and any online software system and any app, even Facebook, like when you go and log into Facebook on your phone and it says you need to update, QuickBooks Online is always being updated. So the app today is so different than the app was a year ago and even more different than 2 years ago. So these things are always evolving. The features are always becoming more robust. It's getting more user-friendly as you go. But the functionality should be similar between all of the apps. They just may look a little bit different. And then a personal question here. Someone's asking if I have any desktop clients. I do. So I do a lot of teaching for QuickBooks Online, which can skew the perception that I am an all-online business. But we actually probably only have about 60% of our clients in the cloud. We do a lot of QuickBooks desktop support. We do use a hosted system in my office, though. So we have all of our desktop stuff hosted. I also do site visits, so I am a huge advocate for the time saved by serving clients online, because then I can do those site visits and not feel like I'm wasting a lot of time traveling around to client offices. I can go down and meet with a client. I can go fix a server issue. I can go do all of that because most of my work is not burning up time traveling. So we do serve enterprise clients, point-of-sale clients, and other accounting systems. And then another one, how do you set up a cloud account? We're going to go over getting into QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Online Accountant here in a little bit. All right, so I'm going to close up those questions. Now remember, everyone, write down the word butter. That is our awesome CPE keyword for the day. And we will move forward. And then keep that keyword, and we will enter that at the end of the webinar into the CPE poll. So now let's look at how to transition existing clients. Okay, we'll go over how to identify which clients might be good to change over to the cloud, and then how to overcome objections with those clients. Okay, so we'll look at identifying 3 clients to convert. So we've got 2 ways to rank these clients. First is by the business. So what kind of services do these clients offer? How easy will it be to move this client online as far as their business offerings? So this is someone that maybe just provides services. So here we've got Sally's Cakes, Twisted Vine Bistro, and Sunshine Plants. Okay, so Sally's Cakes, she makes, decorates, and sells cakes. So she doesn't really have inventory. All of her purchases are just perishable supplies. She's just decorating cakes. You know, it's pretty simple, money in, money out. Next we have Twisted Vine Bistro. So this is a restaurant. So here we've got daily sales summaries, we've got tips, we've got more complex payroll. So that's a little more complicated. All right, and then Sunshine Plants. So let's say Sunshine Plants is a greenhouse. So they have inventory, they have employees, maybe they have a delivery truck. So these business models are just getting more complex. So Sally's is going to be the best fit. Sally has the most simple business model and would be a great fit for QuickBooks Online as far as that business model. Next we go with how receptive they are. All right, so let's say Sally is really great. She just wants to decorate cakes and bake cakes, and she doesn't really care about anything else. She knows how to take a payment, and she knows how to bake a cake, and she wants you to do the rest of the work. Okay, so she's number 1 as far as being receptive. She doesn't care what her accounting system looks like. All she wants to know is how to swipe a card, make an invoice, and put frosting on. Sunshine Plants, even though it was ranked 3rd on services, their owner wants to be on the cloud. So maybe it's a family business, the next generation is coming in, they're really open to the cloud, they want that efficiency, they want to be able to handle their inventory issues remotely. Maybe they also work at a farmer's market, so they want to have that phone swiper, but they're not as simple as Sally's Cakes, so that's why they're number 2. All right, and number 3, we have the bistro. Okay, we remember that their systems were complex. They only rank number 2 on services instead of 3 because there are awesome third-party apps that we can use with restaurants. But as far as being receptive, maybe this is like grandma and grandpa. They've had this bistro for years. They immigrated from Italy. They're old school. They just want to use cash. They don't even want to take cards. All of that, okay, you're going to have a little bit harder time with them, right? So they're at the bottom. So once we list these things out where we know whose services will be easy to convert and who will actually not be a pain in the butt to do it, we can see that Sally's Cakes is number 1. So Sally's Cakes would be the first client that we converted. And then second, I'll even take this a step further, even though Twisted Vine ranks first on services, Sunshine Plants would probably be my next one because even though they're slightly more complex, they're going to be easier to deal with because they're more receptive. All right, so hopefully everyone has that down now. Now let's look at overcoming those objections. So like Twisted Vine Bistro. Okay, so naturally you'll have some clients that will object to working this way, but you might be pleasantly surprised that your clients might not have nearly as many objections as you think they will. So sometimes the objections that we assume our clients have are really objections that we have ourselves. Or one client has one reason for not going to the cloud, and then we just apply that to everyone. But that's not true. Many people are ready for the cloud. It's very important to communicate with clients to determine what their objection is. So step 1 is figure out what are your objections, and then step 2 is figure out what are the client's objections. Because you want to make sure that you're not portraying your own objections onto your clients and just assuming that they don't want to move. So we'll look at some of the most common objections here. First is the client doesn't want to pay for the subscription every month, right? They like being able to purchase their software and own that software. So what I usually do is there's a little cost analysis that happens here. QuickBooks has a sunset policy, so they're only supporting 3 years at any time, right? So now it's 15, so they'd be supporting 15, 14, 13. So in the math that I have done, a QuickBooks Online subscription is basically the same as upgrading your software every 2 years as far as price. So if you have a client who's consistently upgrading, as they should be, the pricing basically works out. You can also offer a value billing arrangement so that you can use wholesale billing, which again you can learn all about wholesale billing in the What's New in QBOA and ProAdvisor program webinar, and we'll talk about that a little bit more at the end of this webinar. So they'll be saving money for your time by switching, and that makes up for the fees. Okay, another one is learning the new software and processes. They've been doing it the same way for so long that they don't want to change. So you can offer to train them for free if you want. They also, I know that they have constructed new training for your clients' workbooks or lessons that will be available in the ProAdvisor portal, hopefully soon. They're not up yet. So you have resources through the ProAdvisor program that enable you to train your clients without having to put a lot of work into it. Another is security, and now again, if they're using online banking, it's the same as that. We all might have that one client. I have one very wonderful client who I love dearly. He's the sweetest little old man who refuses to use online banking. He won't use the internet. He won't do any of that. He owns 4 businesses, walks around with 20 grand in his pocket. They don't make people like him anymore. And for him, I just have to accept there's no way that we will ever do anything online, and that's okay. You pick your battles. But for anybody that's already using the internet, that's using online banking, security shouldn't even be an issue. It's all encrypted, blah, blah, blah. You can find an article on it for them if you'd like. And as long as you are educated about all of these things, dealing with these issues with your clients won't be a big deal. Lastly, there's the issue of them wanting to see you face-to-face. For these, you have anytime, anywhere access. It's actually easier for you to get the work done because you're not limited to coming to their location. So for this, if they're like, well, do you have the time, and I won't be able to see you, I let my clients come to my office and meet with me if they want, and then they can call me and email me. I'm able to check right into their system and answer their questions way faster than I would be able to if we actually had to coordinate our schedules. Okay, so at the end of that, I'm going to check these questions again so I can make sure I'm answering these while we're still on topic. Let's see, after the 3 years of QBO, what happens to the files? I'm not sure what that question is regarding. Okay, so that's probably a misinterpretation of my sunset policy comment. So QuickBooks desktop software has a sunset policy, which basically means when you call customer support, they actively support the most 3 recent years. So the 3 most recent years are what they actively support. So if you have a client running QuickBooks 2010, you don't get to call support and get that. And really the reason they do that is because they're training all of the support staff. It doesn't make sense for Intuit to spend resources training their tech support to stay up to date on older systems that less people are using, which is why they have the sunset policy. So hopefully that answered that. Okay, another question coming in about that, and it says, you mentioned new generations coming in. So if the owner has a daughter or a son who is internet savvy, most likely they will very easily learn QBO and get rid of their bookkeeper once they master QBO. Why would they need a bookkeeper if they are doing all the work from their office? Okay, this is a very common accountant objection. So I hear this one a lot, is you don't want to replace yourself, correct? Okay, so yes, they might have a daughter or son that's internet savvy, but that son or daughter is not an accountant. I guarantee you your clients will continue to mess stuff up. They will continue to need you regardless of the efficiencies that you implement for them. Somebody still needs to do their bank reconciliations. Somebody needs to keep their chart of accounts structured properly. Somebody needs to fix their mistakes. They will continue to make their mistakes. Just because they know what button to click doesn't mean that they know all of the accounting processes. So I have not, when I have clients come in that I switch to QBO, they come in because they want to be converted and they want me to teach them. Okay, so I convert them and I teach them, and then they're overwhelmed and they're like, I can't do that, that's way too much. And then we divide duties. So instead of me training them on everything and then never seeing them again, it actually, most of the time, turns into a recurring bookkeeping client, because now they've realized there's all of those things that are way more complicated than they thought they were going to be, right? So then we draw a line in the sand. I say, okay, for you to be successful in your business, you need to do what you got into business for. So I'm going to show you how to make an invoice, how to receive a payment, how to make a deposit, and how to write a check, okay? And through those processes, even if they have those 4 processes mastered, they don't necessarily split the check the same every time. They don't necessarily apply the payment to the bill properly. They don't necessarily apply the payment to the deposit properly. And more than likely, they're going to make up a plethora of random accounts in their chart of accounts because they don't understand the difference between all of the account types. So, Carlos, that is a great point. And I assure all of you as accounting professionals that that is, in my opinion, not a legitimate objection to putting your clients into the cloud, because it's really a bigger opportunity for you to add more clients on. All right, I'm really glad you asked that question because I love being able to talk about that, so thank you very much. All right, let's go into our next topic here, which is specialize to expand. We'll go through this here. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how you can narrow down to choose the clients that you want. So first, envision your dream client. Are they a specific type of industry? Like maybe you really like retail, or maybe you really want service. Maybe you have a passion for restaurants, or maybe it's a target demographic like younger tech-savvy folks, or maybe it's a certain segment like new businesses, or maybe it's businesses that are trying to get past that 7-year growth curve. Maybe you have a passion for advanced inventory. So once you've got that dream client, you can establish a set of rules about what you won't stand for when working with clients. Like maybe you don't want to deal with inventory. Maybe you won't deal with restaurants. Maybe you don't want to deal with a client that you think is going to be high maintenance. Maybe you just don't want desktop. That's up to you, so you can kind of define what your service offerings are going to look like. Once you've got that, we can move into your passion. So once you think more about what your dream client looks like, think about what you're passionate about, both personally and professionally, and write them down. So maybe it's a hobby, or maybe it's a skill. For me personally, I have a passion for certain types of personalities, and those are people that are really awesome at what they do and just want to do that thing and be great at it and grow their business and be with their families. I don't like working with micromanagers, and I don't like working with people that try to wear every hat. I prefer to work with the person who knows what they're good at and knows that that's what they should be doing, and that everything else should be left to people that excel in that. So I have kind of an attitude requirement with my clients. So you can really hone that in. Think about what it is that you want to do. Okay, and then specializing. So then you can look at specialties. So the possibility for finding a niche market is endless if you take this approach. So you're really narrowing down your business's focus. Once you become the expert in your niche, it's easier to market yourself because you will spend your time trying to connect with a specific prospect instead of trying to reach any prospect. So I have mixed feelings about this. Should you be a specialist or should you be a generalist? And the answer is we need both. We need people to be specialists, right? We need people to focus on those target demographics like e-commerce, shopping cart integrations, advanced inventory, POS. We need people to be specialists in that. And we also need people to be generalists that just are in touch with all of those people that know the specialists to connect that client to. So in my opinion, whether you choose to be a specialist or a generalist, I don't really care. Just know which one you are and be amazing at it. So if you're going to be a generalist, stay educated, know who does what in your industry, and know who to refer your clients to, know who's the best, and know who to call for an answer when you have a question. Know what you don't know. If you're going to be a specialist, you better know your area really well, have multiple solutions for any problem, and just stay focused and be the best at that specialty. So my personal opinion, you can go either way, just whichever way you go, go all the way. Go big or go home. Now let's talk about connecting to new clients. So once you've established what your niche market is, whether you're a specialist or a generalist or whatever, you can start trying to connect with those new clients. The first step is to practice your pitch. So know what you do. Again, know what you know and know what you don't know. Market what you do know. You want to stand out from the crowd and make sure that when you introduce yourself, you're including your specialty. Keep your pitch clear and be able to answer the question, what do you do, in 1 or 2 concise sentences. I know this is really difficult for me, so it's hard for me to try to teach you how to do it, but for me, I'm a member of BNI, which is a networking group, so each week, I have the opportunity to introduce myself, and I refer to myself as a bookkeeping and accounting technology specialist. We specialize in business process and streamlined accounting solutions so that people can do what they got into business to do and not mess with their accounting all the time. So you should be able to just meet someone and explain that. And obviously the things that we do as accounting professionals are very complex, so you may not meet somebody and be able to get your point across every time, but if you can at least intrigue them or give them a general idea, that's a success in my book. Again, with connecting to new clients, you can design a marketing strategy to find your niche clients. You can do this by looking at networking groups that are associated with your niche. There's meetup.com. If you specialize in contractors, you can look at your local contractors board or organizations. You can also reach out to your local small business development center about holding classes. Go to industry trade shows for your target market industry. Also going to industry trade shows for the accounting industry, connecting with the vendors that sell third-party apps that your target demographic uses can be a great source of referrals. If you are looking for online solutions, attach a blog to your website, write articles that pertain to your niche. I actually have a client who connected with their accounting firm because their accounting firm, the accounting firm specializes in creative companies and wrote a blog that was published in a creative article, online magazine or something. So the client read the blog and then saw who wrote it, thought it was interesting that an accounting professional had written it, clicked the link to go to their website, and then ended up hiring the company. So you can really reach out to, if you are going to focus on a specific market, there's a lot of ways to really get connected in that niche. The prospects will trust you more if you've demonstrated your expertise before they have even spoke with you. So usually if people find you online and they've read your blog, you've already pre-sold them on your abilities by having a well-designed and maintained blog. You can get a lot of traffic on blog posts that you write, and it's a great way to get clients from all across the nation if that's what you're interested in. You can also participate in online Q&A forums and groups, like there are many on LinkedIn. There's also many on Facebook now, and then Twitter. People are really connecting via Twitter as well. So blogging, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, etc. You can even go online and answer questions on the QuickBooks community, which is fun sometimes and not fun other times. Sometimes if I'm bored on an airplane, I'll do it from my iPad all day, but it really just depends on how you want to spend your time. Okay, so like I promised, I said I would tell you about the ProAdvisor program. Oh, and I've got this funny little hyperlink that I accidentally pasted in the middle. Sorry about that. So here we have some information about the QuickBooks ProAdvisor program. So the QuickBooks ProAdvisor program is a 2-track program now. There's the free program and the paid program, which were previously known as Cloud and Desktop. So in the Cloud ProAdvisor program, which is free to sign up for, you get that free access to QuickBooks Online Accountant. You also get many discounts and freebies for Intuit Online Payroll and Intuit Tax Online. You get free access to the QuickBooks Online certification training and CPE, and you also get to take that certification exam after you've completed the training. There are many marketing tools and other resources in the ProAdvisor portal that you have access to. One is the Find a ProAdvisor listing. So once you have completed your QuickBooks Online certification and then completed your ProAdvisor listing, it then gets published on the Find a ProAdvisor listing. So when somebody is working in QuickBooks Online, if they have a problem, they can click the button to find a local expert, and potentially your name could show up there on the list, depending on how you rank. You also get chat and phone support. If you decide to join the paid ProAdvisor program, which I believe is $549 a year, you also get the licensing to the desktop software as well as access to the desktop training and certifications. So that will enable you to become trained and certified in QuickBooks Desktop Pro and Premier, as well as QuickBooks Enterprise and QuickBooks Point of Sale. Having those extra certifications can make you rank higher on the Find a ProAdvisor listing. So even if you do choose to go online, if you're an existing desktop ProAdvisor, you might just want to keep having that paid subscription. In my opinion, the $549 a year, not only is it worth the software, but even if I wasn't using the software, for me it's worth the ad space. It's worth the marketing to keep those certifications current and be higher up on that list. We get about 4 to 6 calls a month just from our ProAdvisor listing. So I'm an advocate for that. Okay, let's look at a summary of what we've talked about today. We are almost finished here. Make sure that you stay on the line to enter that CPE keyword here in just a moment. So our learning objectives, again, were to be able to define what the cloud is and understand how it applies to accounting professionals. Hopefully now you can summarize why you would want to transition to the cloud and the benefits that it will provide. We can identify hardware and software needed to make a smooth transition. We went through how to create a list of clients, existing clients, and who to transition first and how. We identified ways to reach out to new clients, and hopefully now we can summarize the benefits of becoming a QuickBooks Online ProAdvisor. Earlier in the webinar, I talked a little bit about the QuickBooks Connect conference from last year. It was last October. So the 2015 dates have been released. It is November 2nd to 4th. You can sign up for updates and to be notified when registration opens by going to qbcon2015.com. Okay, so let's, I think we can get that here in the chat box. Let me type that in, qbcon2015.com. So that's in your chat window. And again, make sure you register for that. They last year they had pre-con sessions for accounting professionals that were really great. So if you can register for that, you'll get notifications about that so that you can get signed up for pre-con. Again, that's at the San Jose Convention Center in San Jose, California, and it was a really awesome event last year. I'm really excited about it for this year. All right, so now I'm going to launch the CPE poll. So you'll have a poll that comes up in front of the other information on your screen, and while you are doing that, I'm going to look at the rest of the questions here and make sure that we got everything answered. Thank you again for joining us today, everyone. Okay, so we have another question that came in. Once I convert clients to QuickBooks Online, is it possible to convert them back to QuickBooks Desktop if they are unhappy with budgeting, reporting, or other QBO services? Yes, that is possible. You can convert back to desktop. Just like doing any accounting system conversion, things change every time you convert, right? Data doesn't look the same in QBO as it does in desktop, as well as, when it comes back. Budgets do not convert. I highly recommend for anyone that uses QuickBooks Online or is thinking about it, please sign up for the Converting to QuickBooks Online webinar on Intuit Academy. I wish that there were a way to just automatically update everyone about how to convert files to QuickBooks Online, but it's very important that as you get started with this, you know what goes over and what doesn't and the differences between the products. So that webinar is free on Intuit Academy. It's very beneficial, so make sure to sign up for that. But yes, short answer, yes, you can go back. There are test drive files available, so you can actually access a test drive file that you can play around with, that you can give your clients to play around with, so that you can log in, you can demo the file for your client. It already is packed with data, So you're able to demo it, your client's able to play around, and that helps you avoid that issue. Like, I would hate to have someone convert and then want to go back. If you do your due diligence ahead of time, know the features, know the differences, allow your client to experiment with it, and then you won't have that issue of having to move back. Okay, so another question, can you download reports, etc., but you just can't save a backup? Correct. So in QuickBooks Online, you can download reports, you can email reports, you can make them into PDFs, you can make them into Excel spreadsheets. All of that information is accessible. It's just creating a restorable backup file is the one thing that at this time is not available. But it's asked for hugely, so I'm sure that it will be open soon, hopefully, when Intuit is done working with Jobber on getting that done. Okay, so we are now at 1 minute after the hour. It looks like we have all of the questions in here answered. So thank you again for joining us today. Make sure to check out intuitacademy.com for any other upcoming webinars that you would be interested in. I'm going to close out the poll here in about 15 seconds. So if you are still on the line and you have not entered your CPE keyword, please do so now. I'm going to close that out in about 5 more seconds. And again, thank you all for joining us.